Alright, so it's time to finally look at Choose Your Legends 8 in this FEH channel for the winners, Alfonse, Bernardetta, Female Robin, and Felix. So this Brave batch is definitely highly anticipated. Of course, every year it is, but it has some interesting choices to say the least. So the first character is going to be Female Brave Robin, who's wearing the exact same outfit as her male counterpart who won last year. So a bit disappointing from a design perspective because it's like, I really thought they'd be a little bit more creative, but they pretty much copy pasted the same outfit and it looks good. I'm not saying it's ugly. It's just like, come on, man. They could have given us something for Robin to stand out, and they also gave us the same artist. You know, Wada Sachiko, one of the best in the business for sure, but it's like you could have given her at least a different artist. So pretty lazy in my opinion, and definitely could have been better, especially for Robin fans that are bigger Robin fans than me. But you know, it is what it is. At least she's a different weapon type. She's a Carlos Tome infantry, but even that brings a little bit more of divisiveness because she doesn't have Levin Sword, which we'll talk more about Levin Sword later. But yeah, you know, it's like they didn't want to keep the same weapon like her Brave male version, who's a sword infantry, but then they gave her to the same outfit and the same artist. So yeah, I definitely feel for your Robin fans, but hey, at least she's really good. So Exalt Tactics as her weapon, -1 cooldown. If a rally or movement assist is used, or if you act, you trigger or apply Divine Vein Ice. So this is a brand new Divine Vein effect, which can be really strong. I think this has a lot of potential. So this is inflicted to spaces, 2 spaces away from target after movement for 1 turn. And basically what this does, as the name implies, is it sets up ice. Blocks of ice, and they work basically like a structure because the foe will have to break them. So this is treated as impassable terrain. So I'm thinking, can Kadean Lin just go over this? Because she has a... I'm just thinking about my girl and if she can actually pass through this, which I think she can because she can pass through the flame terrain. And I'm also wondering if Celica can pass through this. I'm pretty sure she can. I don't know. But we'll have to do testing for this. But yeah, Divine Vein Ice, allies can move into this space, but the foes can't. So this is really useful in something like Aether Raids, especially where you want to survive and you don't want to take hits. So if you make a mistake or something, this can really help you, or you just want to be safe. You know, the ice is there. So the ice is breakable, of course, but the foe will have to take a turn. They'll have to expend their action to actually break it. So this is purely a strategic kind of vein. Most of the other vein effects are like combat oriented, like Miasma, you know, the flame terrain. So I like how this one is definitely unique and something we haven't seen before. So that is Divine Vein Ice. And then for the actual combat abilities of this weapon, if you're alive, you inflict penalty on foes' attack speed res equal to 5 plus the number of allies within 3 rows, 3 columns centered on unit times 3, maximum 14. We've seen that plenty times before, so nothing new when it comes to the stats and the conditioning, but you know, it's very easy. You have null guard, and you also have damage reduction piercing like special spiral. So pretty simple when it comes to the actual combat of the weapon, but of course we're not done because every Brave now pretty much wins, or should I say gets a PRF passive beside their weapon, which Robin does have, and is also very strong. So yeah, they're going to show off the Divine Vein Ice. This team is going to have to break it, so Ursula, you know, has to break it, and you know, normally without the Divine Vein right there, she would have to, you know, she would be able to attack Robin, but because the ice is there, you can't do it. So according to plan is the B skill. At start of turn, if unit is alive, grants attack speed +6 and Canto 1 to unit and allies within 2 spaces of unit for 1 turn, and inflicts Hush Spectrum and Panic on the closest foes and any foe within 2 spaces of those foes through the next action. So Hush Spectrum and Panic's been in the game since the beginning, but Hush Spectrum we just saw on her young version, you know, earlier this year, which is very strong. It's basically like a scowl on the foe, or reverse a Rally Spectrum, where you don't let them trigger their specials. So that's very useful, and this Robin doesn't have to use an assist to do it. You just sit there and you pretty much just inflict it on the foe, so it's free. And then at start of combat, if you're alive, you inflict attack speed res -5 on the foe, and you deal X or +X times 5 damage, so maximum 25 true/flat damage, excluding AoEs, and you reduce damage from the foe's first attack by X times 3, maximum 15. So maximum 15 flat damage reduction. And then you also, or sorry, the X equals the number of bonus effects active on yourself and the number of penalties on the foe. So that's pretty easy because you inflict all these penalties. You inflict 2 of them already, and you can also give yourself Canto 1 and a buff. So yeah, very easy to get, and flat damage reduction and flat damage is pretty much, you know, the way of a lot of top tier units right now, like a Toon Sita, who's one of the first units to introduce that. You know, Legendary Claw just got this, so I expected somebody on this banner to get some kind of X damage, because why would they not, right? And then this also includes the brave hit. So according to the plan, very, very good. Very simple, I'd say, for the most part. But it does the job from what you'd expect on Robin and Chrom, because they do this type of stuff with Hush Spectrum and the assist shenanigans. So that is according to plan. And then we're not done, because she also introduces a new C skill. This is inheritable because it has the yellow ring around it, or the yellow border. Creation Pulse. If penalty is active on the foe, which is very easy for Robin to do, you grant attack speed +3, and you also, attack speed +3 during combat, and also if units attack and trigger unit special, you grant the special jump, the special cooldown count -X to unit before your first attack. X equals the number of penalty effects active on the foe. So you already inflict 2 of them, the Hush Spectrum and Panic, so your special jumping is going to be crazy, and you can just trigger those specials really easily. So this is basically like a kind of like a harder to use times pulse that requires more setup, but for infantry mages and nukes, this is amazing because you can just speed up your special. You know, for archers too, assuming they can get it, it's kind of like Golden Yule Bow, but in your C skill. So that is pretty cool. Creation Pulse is definitely going to be pretty powerful. And yeah, that is female Brave Robin. Definitely going to be a fun unit to use and very creative with the strategic stuff you can do with the ice. But everything else in her weapon and her kit is nothing that new. You know, along with the fact that she's wearing the exact same thing on her outfit from her male counterpart. So nothing really new with the outfit, nothing really new with the weapon except for the Divine Vein Ice, really. Because we've seen Hush Spectrum before, we've seen Panic before, we've seen, you know, your assist doing this and that, we've seen special jumping, so it's nothing really new. So this Robin ult, in my opinion, is a little bit disappointing. Of course, it's very strong, definitely going to be one of the best mages in the game, but it's like, I don't know, they could have done something more creative, but in my opinion, but it is what it is. But you know, I know Robin fans, they can definitely be disappointed about this, and you're definitely very valid in being disappointed, you know, for sure. But I would say just enjoy this Robin ult because it's very good and very strong. So yeah, that is Brave Female Robin. Next up is Brave Felix, and your eyes are not deceiving you, that is the Levin sword he's holding. So that is the other point of contention on this banner, and kind of another slap to the face to Robin fans, the fact that Felix has the Levin sword, which is absolutely cheese to me. That is some mega cheese. The first character in Fire Emblem Heroes to have the Levin sword is not Robin. After years of fans wanting it for some kind of Robin ult, they give it to Felix of all characters, which, you know, he is a swordsman, but it's like, why Felix? That's crazy to me, man. That is definitely one of the things people are talking about the most. You know, asking for Levin sword for so long for Robin and then just giving it to Felix is hilarious, but I also empathize with you guys. I definitely feel for Robin fans. That is crazy. So Felix is the Mortal Savant class, and it makes sense, I guess, because the Mortal Savant class can wield magic, I believe, but still, like, and obviously we know the Levin sword isn't an exclusive weapon to Robin. It's not like only Robin can wield it. You know, it's in a lot of Fire Emblem games, and you can put it on anyone pretty much, but it's pretty much Robin's signature weapon. He has it in Smash. He's most known for that, and they gave it to Felix, which is that is absolutely cheese. But here we are with Mortal Savant Levin Sword Felix, and this Felix ult blows his base version out of the water and is definitely one of the best sword infantries in the game, in my opinion. He's amazing. He is an incredible mixed phase sword infantry. I guess he's more enemy phase leaning, but still he can really excel in the player phase as well if you really want him to, because he has the tools to survive initiations and also has the movement for it, because he comes with Endless Tempest. This is basically Tempest 4 that works on both phases, or sorry, both turns. So that's amazing. So basically he becomes a modern Brave Olm kind of, where he can turn into a Cavalier. And he has a Clash effect where, depending on the number of spaces from start position to whoever initiated combat, he gets maximum 3 stats, so that's incredible. And then also can stop buffs. I think that's the best part of this skill, besides being able to move one extra space, is, you know, being able to stop buffs. So you can really just stop them from getting crazy stats and you know, deal with stuff like bonus doublers. So that's really good, and definitely the best part of the skill, along with the extra movement. The extra stats here is nice, but it's only maximum 3. So yeah, Endless Tempest is going to be really good for a lot of melee infantry units. And they're going to showcase Felix off. He comes with attack speed excel, his pure FB, his weapon, of course, and Gust. Gust is amazing. We saw that in Tune Erica for the unpierceable damage reduction, and boosting your speed damage output by 50% is really good. So they're going to show him initiate against Embla. Embla has no chance, even with her special ready. So new Levin sword. This is another cheese part of the weapon. It's called new Levin sword, implying that there was an old Levin sword in the game, but there's never been any Levin sword until this point, so that's hilarious. They call it new Levin sword. So yeah, that's pretty funny. But anyways, this gives you -2 cooldown. So not just slaying, you have slaying, slaying, so double slay. And just like the emblem effect with Marth, you can't lower it down 1 or lower it below 1, so keep that in mind. But still really good having -2. I don't think we've really seen a unit with this quite like that, because it's like a flat -2. It's not at the start of turn or whatever, or a certain turn. It's just straight up -2. So slaying 2. Slay, slay. And then he comes with Disencounter and Adaptive Damage, which makes sense for 11 Sword. And then the start of combat, if foe's HP is greater than or equal to 75%, or if number of allies adjacent unit is less than or equal to 1, you grant +5 stats, bonus to your stats equal to 15% of your speed. And then you also have Null Guard, and you also have damage reduction. So pretty simple weapon overall, but we're not done because he comes with a really good PRFB skill, which is what makes him really unique, I think, because we've seen Disencounter weapons before and all these stuff pretty much, except for I guess the -2 cooldown, but everything else here is nothing new. But the B skill is what really makes Felix crazy. Lone Wolf, this gives him Phantom Speed +7. If unit has not been used or been the target of an assist skill during the current turn, you grant another action to your unit, and you inflict isolation on yourself so you can't get danced again, so that's a balance there. But this gives you basically another action depending on these cases, or in the following cases. So the first case is if you initiated combat, or the second case, B, is if you took action without entering combat. So basically, when he attacked Embla, he can move again. He got another action, he gets a free Gale Force. That is incredible for a mixed phase sword infantry like him with the Tempest skill, so he can really hit and run and just be really annoying and have free Gale Force without having to use Gale Force. So really, really good, and it's definitely the best part of this weapon, at least when it comes to just his uniqueness. That is really, really good. And he also gets it even if he doesn't enter combat. If he just, like, let's say, I guess if he just stood in front of Embla and just, you know, just placed himself there, he can still get another action. So that is incredible, to just be a blazing fast, crazy mobility sword infantry. And then furthermore, at start of combat, if he's alive, or if number of allies adjacent to unit is less than or equal to 1, you inflict -5 to all their stats on the foe. You deal true damage based on 20% of your speed, and you also reduce damage from foe's attack by 20% of your speed. So this is the flat speed-based damage reduction, which isn't on that many units right now. It's only on Felix, obviously, and Northuz and Shannon, who just recently got a weapon refine that's really good for that. But yeah, there isn't that many units with flat-based, or flat speed-based damage reduction. The only other units, it's mostly defense, should I say. It's mostly defense-based, so having speed 1 for Felix, who has 48 base speed, is really good, and pretty good bulk with 35 defense and 29 res, and not pretty good, I should say respectable bulk. And then also, when foes attack triggers foes special, you reduce damage by 20%, so another round of that. So that's incredible, having the unpierceable damage reduction on top of Gust, giving you more of that, and attack speed excel also giving you more of that, and synergizing perfectly with the Tempest skill. And that is pretty much Brave Felix. That is really, really good. And I feel like he's going to be kind of like a sleeper pick, just like Brave Marth was a few years ago, where they kind of see sword infantry and a lot of people are just like, oh, he's just another sword infantry. But then when you actually use him in practice, he can be really, really insane. And I think that's what Felix is going to be on this banner, I feel like. Just by virtue of being a sword infantry, because, you know, it's the most saturated and competitive class type. But either way, Lone Wolf Felix is incredible. He's going to be really fun to use. He's probably not going to be my free pick because I have so many sword infantries, but who knows? Maybe I will free pick him just to have this kind of gameplay, because this is really fun. Gale Force, Omni tanking with Disencounter weapon. The only thing he can't do that's a bit unfortunate is he can't really run Null Counter Disrupt, because the B skill is covering the Null Counter Disrupt skill, and he can't use the X skill without giving up Lone Wolf. So, you know, that is a bit unfortunate for Felix, but still, really good mixed phase sword infantry that is definitely really strong, and I'm pretty impressed with this kid. Even though he doesn't have like the longest text ever, I think he's very good, and again, kind of like the sleeper pick of this batch. Next up is Brave Bernardetta. She is a blue bow cavalier, just like her spring version, but obviously this one is going to be much better. And this Bernardetta brings some crazy stuff to the table. She does bring some things that you of course expect on her previous alts, like the 1 damage, desperation, but she has some things that are pretty anti-meta, I'd say, and something pretty much no other unit can do in the game, and that is reflecting penalties essentially on herself to the foe. So that is what she brings with her Paranoia C skill. So at the start of turn, grants no follow-up and grants Paranoia to unit and allies within 2 spaces of unit for 1 turn, which is pretty cool because if you know Bernadetta's character, which most of you are probably familiar with her character because she's an infamous character, you know, she's scared all the time and she's very introverted, you know, and having Paranoia makes sense for her to reflect the penalty on herself to the foe. So basically, the 1 damage that she's had before, which is nice for certain teams. But at the start of turn, if units within 5 spaces, which is a huge range, of a foe, you inflict penalty effects active on yourself, on unit and closest foes, and any foe within 2 spaces of those foes, and you also neutralize that penalty on yourself. So you basically get rid and wash yourself of that penalty. So if you have exposure, that doesn't work on Bernardetta. She's pretty much penalty proof, and not only is she gonna just clean that penalty off of her, she's gonna give it to the opponent. So that is pretty crazy. So that is really good. At the start of combat, if unit's HP is less than or equal to 99%, grants attack speed +5, and you also have null guard during combat. Paranoia, pretty much every unit so far has had null guard, which just makes guard worse and worse, I suppose, with just how much null guard we have. So yeah, paranoia is right there, which they explain it. Well, they pretty much explained it, but I guess actually no, this is actually more. This is a part of paranoia. At the start of combat, if unit's HP is less than or equal to 99%, grants attack +5 to unit during combat. And also if unit initiates combat, you have desperation. So that comes with paranoia, I suppose, along with the penalty reflection. So that's crazy. At the start of combat, if unit's HP is less than or equal to 99%, again, if foe initiates combat, and if either that foe's range equals the unit's range or number of penalty effects active on foe excluding stat penalties is greater than or equal to 3, unit can counterattack before first attack. So she has advantage depending on her HP, which is less than or equal to 98%, which obviously is easy with the damage she gives herself. And if the foe initiates combat, of course, and if either that foe's range equals the unit's range, so if someone is a ranged foe, like another bow unit, or the number of penalties active on foe, excluding stat penalties, is greater than or equal to 3. So that is really good because she pretty much just pushes those penalties on them. So it's in your best interest for Bernardetta to get status, basically negative status with the penalties, so she can activate advantage, which can be kind of hard, I suppose. Actually, no, what am I saying? It's not that hard. She's gonna be an amazing Vantage unit if you really want to make her that. She can work in the player phase, enemy phase, so another mixed phase unit, which is pretty cool. So yeah, Vantage, Desperation, and Penalty Reflection, that is amazing. And just that's all of that in one skill. So Essence Drain, screw that. You know what I'm saying? Essence Drain is like the bane of my existence. So Bernardetta is going to be really useful for that. So Inexhaustible, this is her weapon, enables Canto Distant Max 3, which is the annoying Canto that is really good. Accelerates special trigger, of course, -1 cooldown. Effectiveness against flying foes. Unit attacks twice, so brave effect. And if unit initiates combat or bonus is active on unit, you grant +5 to all your stats and grant a further bonus to your stats equal to 15% of your speed. And you deal true damage 20% of that speed, and you reduce damage reduction halving. So pretty similar to what Felix has, kind of, except you have the brave effect. You know, just some of the similar speed-based stuff. But yeah, you have the brave effect on top of the Vantage, so that is amazing. Gonna make her a really good Vantage unit. That is really good. So she comes with attack speed prime, as you can see, so that is perfect because, you know, she can just easily get Vantage and hit really hard with the brave hits. And she comes with curved shot, which is a new, it looks like a new inheritable bow special for archers. So I think so. I don't know, maybe it's Bernardetta only, but if it's inheritable, that'd be really cool. Boosts special damage by 30% of the greater of foe's speed or defense. Okay, interesting. So it takes the foe's speed or defense and uses it against them. So for Ike here, who's super slow, it's gonna be taken from his defense, which is really good because most units that are gonna be slow are gonna have high defense, so that works out. And if unit or foe's special is ready, or unit's foe's special triggered before or during this combat, and unit can attack during combat, reduces damage from foe's next attack by 40%. So that is true, or sorry, that's flat damage reduction. That's unpierceable, or should I say that's unpierceable damage reduction. So curved shot is really good. It doesn't pierce it like Deadeye, but it pretty much just gives you more longevity, and it also uses their stats against them. So interesting special for sure. Curved shot is going to be really cool. Definitely looking into this for Winter Marth if this is inheritable. She also comes with Assassin Strike. And last but not least is Alfonse donning his dad's armor and his dad's outfit. And I believe his artwork has the same poses as his dad's Fallen version, which is very bittersweet. But yeah, Alfonse is here, heir to Openness, the first place winner. And he is easily, in my opinion, the best unit on this banner. He's insane, at least on paper he is. Like, this Alfonse version is souped TF up, to say the least. So you guys will see. Makings of a king. Just ignoring the text, you might your eye might have caught these stats. Like, look at these stats. Super min max. This is like abyssal level armor stats, but he's an Axe Cavalier, just like his dad. So this version of Alfonse, for the first mergeable Alfonse, I guess Intelligent Systems wanted to really make him enter the game with a bang, because this is insane. Makings of a King, boost damage by 30% of your defense, plus defense, great talent when special trigger. So great talent, what this does is it basically makes your visible stats higher, as if you're getting like Aether Rates buffs, blessing buffs, but you don't need to do that. You just get extra stats, not only for yourself, but also for your allies. So adds value of great talent plus X to specified stats until the end of battle. Maximum value of X is determined by the stat reaching the limit of 99. Each stat calculated separately. Stat increases are not treated as bonus effects. So yeah, just insane. That's why he can reach these crazy stats. And then reduces damage from foes attack during combat by percentage equal to 40 minus 10 times current special cooldown count value. At the start of turn, he grants attack defense res great talent plus 2 to unit, and attack defense res great talent to unit and allies, or to allies within 3 rows 3 columns centered on unit. And if he triggers the special, then he grants even more great talent, aka stats, to himself, plus 4 and plus 2 to allies. So whatever allies with him is going to benefit from whatever he is harvesting, which is this great talent stuff, this great cheese. This is crazy. So this skill grants maximum plus 20 for unit and great talent plus 10. Which is insane, especially for like older units that are struggling in the stat department. You can just help them, soup them up, and have Alfonse as an incredible tank, and just clean up from there. I mean, this is insane. We've never really seen, I mean, in this banner alone, this Brave Batch, we've seen unique effects, but nothing like this ever. We've seen where you just give people stats without like, obviously bonus stats from like blessings or arena bonuses. But yeah, great talent is insane. This is really crazy, I think. And yeah, 68 defense buffed up. That's incredible. And his whole kit is insane. His A skill is insane. His B skill is insane. His weapon is insane. Breath of Life 4 is also insane, but we've seen that before. But yeah, Alfonse is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And he's going to be so annoying to try and kill. I feel like he's going to be the emblem Ike of Axe Cavaliers, but I haven't even gotten to the rest of his skills. So Majestic Glitnir is his weapon. This gives you Canto Distant 1, maximum 4, minus 1 cooldown. At the start of turn, if there's an ally within 3 rows 3 columns centered on unit, grants defense res plus 6 to himself for 1 turn, and unit can move 1 extra space. So that is lots of movement, which is similar to his sister who got hers on her Valentine ult this year. So extra movement calves. And also, if unit special cooldown count is maximum value, he has times pulse. If unit initiates combat, or if there's an ally 3 rows 3 columns, that's going to be the common condition here. Centered on unit, grants defense res plus X to unit, inflicts defense res minus X on the foe. X equals plus 5. Number of allies within 3 rows 3 columns centered on unit times 3, maximum 14. Deals true damage 10% of your defense, and reduces damage from foes attacked by 10% of unit's defense. Now you'll notice that, or at least I noticed, the defense flat damage reduction that he has here is 10% lower than normal, or like 5%. Har has like 15% of his defense, Asker has 20%, but for Alfonse it's only 10, which makes sense because if it was 20, it'd be a little bit too much. He's already so bulky and gets so much stats that he doesn't need more than 20% or more than 10% flat DR defense base, so I'm glad about that. And also when special triggers, he has damage reduction piercing. And if unit initiates combat, or if there's an ally within 3 rows 3 columns centered on unit, he has mini special spiral after combat to make Makings of a King even easier to trigger. So this weapon is also ridiculous, giving him so much longevity when it comes to actual combat. And then reopening, which I thought was guard 4, but then I saw the sparkle. This is basically guard 5, which is going to be heritable, and this is a new insane B slot. So this is inflicting attack minus 5 on the foe, special charge of course minus 1, deals damage equal to X percentage of unit's defense, and you reduce damage from foes attacks by X% of unit's defense during combat. So that is more flat damage reduction based on your defense, and that's either 10 or 20. If unit can make a follow-up attack, or if unit triggers the Brave effect, X equals 10, otherwise 20. So having this B slot available to other units is crazy. I feel like this will be like the Laguz friend. I mean, I don't know what the restrictions on this will be. Maybe it's Cavalier only, I don't know, but Alfonse can get it, he's a Cavalier. And this is incredible. You have to be really bulky to use it, I mean, to ideally use it, because you're going to base off your defense, but still, this is crazy. It's guard 5 essentially. I mean, I thought guard 4 was kind of underrated, but you never really see it because B slots are so competitive. Why would you ever run guard 4 on like a melee infantry if you can use the Goose friend, So guard 4 was a bit outdated, so they basically made a new cracked version of it with reopening. So I'll be interested to see what the restrictions on this are. I mean, maybe it's allowed on everybody, just like guard 4 is. I don't know, but I kind of hope there's a restriction on it because this skill's crazy. But either way, Alfonse here having the Canto as well. He has like the whole package. He's going to be so bulky to kill, or so annoying to kill. He comes with a Divine Vein effect as well, on top of his bulk that he already has. So Fortifications is the insane new A skill, which is like a better version of Stronghold, which we just got on Bandage Lady. This inflicts -5 attack on yourself, which is not much of a trade-off in the grand scheme of things because you're going to get all this. Grants defense res +7. If unit is in a space where a Divine Vein effect is applied, you can counterattack regardless of foe's range. So you have DC built in because, again, he's the full package. He has everything. Almost everything you can want. If unit initiates combat, grants defense res +6 to unit and also reduces damage from foes' specials by 10. That's even more flat damage reduction, but that's excluding AoEs. And then if unit has entered combat during the current turn and after unit acts, a Canto triggers. After Canto, applies Divine Vein Stone, which is the same stone effect I believe Lumera has, if I'm not mistaken, which is, I think that one also gives you damage reduction. Yeah, that gives you the flat 10. So you have this, you have basically two forms of, you know, just straight up 10 damage reduction, so 20, I guess, with this skill. Fortification is insane. This is ridiculous, man. You have DC built into it if you're on a Divine Vein effect. So this Brave batch is definitely pushing more Divine Vein usage. While it is meta, they're giving us this one, and then they're giving us the Ice one. So Fortifications is insane, and then Reopening is also insane. His weapons is insane. His special is insane. So like, I'm just getting more impressed by Alfonse every time I look at his kit because this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. He's going to be, I feel like I said, I think he's going to be like the Emblem Ike of Axe Cavaliers. And hell, he might be able to even take out Emblem Ike, which is how bulky and how much stats he can get. But yeah, that is the Brave banner. We can spark on it for 4 times, just like previous Brave banners, which is nice. And, you know, especially nice for people who are trying to +10 these characters. You can at least spark everyone else. And the GHB unit is going to be Panet. Panet is not a favorite of mine. I've always liked her. Also because, you know, she is Tamara's retainer, so I automatically like her for that. But she is the GHB unit, so it's nice to see more Engage after Engage didn't win anything this year for Choose Your Legends. So that's a little bit of hope, I suppose, for next year. But yeah, Panet is cool. Again, she's Tamara's retainer, and she is an Axe Infantry, it looks like, and she has a PRF weapon, Berserker Axe, I think it's called, but her fodder isn't the greatest. She comes with Panic Smoke, which is nice for Panic Smoke 4 fodder, but yeah, she's gonna hit really hard. She has like 48 base attack or something like that, something crazy. Yeah, she's 64 attack, so weapons are always 16 minus 64 is 48, so she's gonna hit really hard, and she also has good speed and decent defenses. So that's Panet. I like to see that. But yeah, that's the Brave banner, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this insane Brave lineup, especially Alfonse. Like, all these units are really good in their own ways, and you know, they all can all bring something to the table, but Alfonse is just next level insane. Like, I cannot believe how stacked they made that, man. They didn't have to give him this encounter. They didn't have to give us an inheritable skill that gives us this encounter like that, the Fortification skill. You could have just resorted him to have, you know, use, you know, this encounter melee for Omni tanking. The only thing he doesn't have, I guess, is no counter disrupt, but even then it might not even matter because, you know, he's gonna eat up the hit anyway. Like, I'll have to do testing with him for sure because I feel like I'm gonna free pick him because I think he's gonna be the most meta. I think right now he's the best Brave hero easily, because while the other 3 are amazing in their own ways, Alfonse is just built different. Like, that is insane, man. I've said insane like 20 million times in this video, but that is like, that might be the most powerful Brave hero I've seen. I mean, obviously as the years go on, the game's gonna get stronger and stronger, but Alfonse, I didn't expect him to have this much heat. That boy is souped the hell up. But yeah, that is my video, guys. I know it's pretty long, but hopefully you enjoyed listening to me ramble, and leave a like if you did. Please stay safe out there. Peace out.